Hello students, in this lecture we will see a topic in trigonometry. I've named it as heights and distances. Even though we will look at the basic trigonometric formulae, we will look at the types of problems that you can get in this particular thing and how to remember certain formulae in a very simple way. Usually when I discuss with students about trigonometry, students feel that it's a topic which requires a lot of memorizing, number of formulae to be understood and so on. But there are certain simple ways in which you can remember them, especially the trigonometric ratios. If you can just remember them in an easy way, you will be able to solve many problems. Okay, with that tiny introduction, let me just go into the lecture. Yes. Now let us look at the basic definitions here. We will just recall a few things about how the trigonometry ratios arise, and then we will work on that. Okay, right. Now the basic idea of trigonometry is the right angle triangle. Okay, you have a right angle triangle. What do I mean by a right angle triangle? One corner angle is 90 degree. Now why is this important for trigonometry, or why is this right triangle important for us? The general idea is, when you look at any height of a building, length of a shadow and so on, you're talking about some vertical. Okay, so here the vertical is your AB, and then you're comparing it with some horizontal. Okay, and this side, the longest side, usually we call it the hypotenuse. Okay, all of us know that OA square plus AB square is equal to OB square. This is the famous Pythagoras theorem you have studied. But in trigonometry, we will see what is the ratio, what is the connection between the three sides, other than this ratio, other than this relation. Okay, can I write some ratios? What is OA by OB? What is OA by AB? What is AB by OB? Now the different ways, what is their reciprocal? We just give names to the ratios. It's as simple as that. We just give names to the ratios. Okay, now there are three angles in this triangle. The corner angle is of course 90, but other than this we have the two angles, right? Now this base angle is what we are interested in. Okay, this angle is theta, right? Now we know that angle A plus angle O plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Yes, because for any triangle, to get a closed figure, no, you need three lines. With two lines, you cannot get a closed figure in the plane, isn't it? Lines means, I mean straight line without curve. So when you have this closed figure, the sum of the three angles enclosed by the closed figure is 180. Okay, now if it's a four-sided figure, the sum of the angles is 360, or the angle around the point, right? So this 180 degree, sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree, will naturally lead me to angle B is equal to 180 minus angle A minus O, but A is 90, so this will be 180 minus 90 minus angle O, which is 90 minus angle O is my theta, right? So if I know this is theta, this is automatically going to be 90 minus theta. So we will not worry about D. We are only interested in this angle theta. Okay. So we will try to write the ratios of the sides in terms of this particular angle, giving a connection between the sides and angles of a triangle. That's all. Okay. So what are the basic definitions here? Naturally, your sine theta, full form is SINE. I'm not going into that. We are not interested in too much of trigonometry, isn't it? Sine theta will be the opposite side, the side opposite to this particular theta. Okay, this is the opposite side. Why is it opposite side? It is the side opposite to your theta. It is facing your theta. Okay, so this is the side opposite to your theta. So you call it as opposite side. Okay, now this side next to your theta is the adjacent to the theta. It is near the theta. Okay, we call this as adjacent side. Okay, this side is adjacent to theta, so we call it as the adjacent side. This would be the opposite side by the hypotenuse. Okay, what do I mean by hypotenuse? It's the longest side. Okay, this is my hypotenuse. Okay, so the three sides have got names now: opposite side, adjacent side, hypotenuse with respect to theta. Hypotenuse of course for the triangle, but opposite and adjacent with respect to theta, right? So I've given the relation between, I've given a name for this ratio, opposite side and hypotenuse. If I divide the opposite side by the longest side, what is the name of that ratio? Sin theta. Okay, don't think of it as some mathematical formula. What is cosine theta? Adjacent side by hypotenuse. Again, the ratio of adjacent side by hypotenuse is given some name. Okay, so that is the name. What is the name? Cosine theta or cos theta. Now tan theta, you need not worry about a special formula. It is simply sin theta by cos theta. So what would happen if I divide these two ratios? You will get opposite side by adjacent side, right? So it is not some new ratio. Okay, it is not some new uh, formula for you to remember. Just remember there are three sides of a triangle. The opposite side comparing with the longest side is called sin theta. Adjacent side comparing with the longest side is cos theta. Tan theta is simply the ratio of sin and cos. Okay, don't learn it as something new. Similarly, cosecant theta is equal to 1 by sin theta, right? And secant theta is equal to 1 by cosine theta, and cot or cotangent theta is equal to 1 by tan theta. So I would strongly suggest that you remember only sin theta and cosine theta, that also opposite and adjacent. Okay, right. In fact, I would use a very small trick. This sin theta has got opposite. It starts with O. That O is not here, O is here. Okay, if cosine has got O, don't put the O. That also if you cannot remember. Okay, otherwise just remember. Just remember sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse, automatically cosine will be the other side. Okay, so use some shortcut and try to understand them. Right? Now let us look at some of the identities. What is the meaning of identities? Something which is true, some equation which is true. The left hand side and right hand side are equal. What are the three identities? This very famous trigonometric identities is sin square theta plus cosine square theta is equal to 1. What is this actually? What's my sin theta? Sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse. So sin square theta would be square of these two, isn't it? What about cosine square theta? It's your adjacent by hypotenuse. So your cosine square would be equal to adjacent by hypotenuse square. So when you add these two, what do you get? Opposite by hypotenuse square plus adjacent by hypotenuse square. I am not deriving, I just want you to understand this logic. This is equal to, just what is opposite by hypotenuse? You can write it as, right, opposite, we already know height square is equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. Okay, so if you divide throughout by height square, what will you get? Is equal to height square, height square. This is 1. Therefore, your sin theta plus cos theta the whole square is equal to 1. Right? So, it's not something very strange. From Pythagoras theorem, we are just writing it, we are rewriting that in terms of sin and cos. Okay, so it's not something new for you to be troubled by the identities and so on. Now, 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. Again, I can derive using the same idea, or I can say sin square by cos square is there, isn't it? You just take the sine outside or cosine outside, you will get these two, right? You take this sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. If you can take the sin square theta outside, you are left with 1 plus cos square theta by sin square theta is equal to 1, or 1 plus cos by sin, I told you cos square, is equal to 1 by sin square, which is cosecant square. Okay, which will be this identity, 1 plus cot square theta equal to cosecant square theta. Now, if you want the other identity, what should you do? Again, take this and you remove the cosine square outside. Then you would get sin square theta divided by cosine square theta plus 1 is equal to 1. Implies tan square theta plus 1 equal to 1 by cos square theta, which is your secant square theta. So the basic three identities 1, 2 and 3. Okay. If you want, you learn it as an identity or learn only the first one. The other two can be derived from the first one. You need not worry about the second and the third one. Okay. Now what about trigonometric ratios? You would have seen a huge ratio like this. Okay. For sine 0, what is the value of sine 0, sine 30, sine 45, sine 60, sine 90? No, similarly for cosine and so on. See, I will give you a very easy way of remembering this. Please use the ideas here so that you need not worry. Now writing in terms of a table is only to capture the idea. Okay, I don't want you to by heart this table. What is the easiest way of remembering this? Okay, now 0, 1. Okay, then I will put 1 by 4 here, half here, 3 by 4 here. Okay, see, I'm just writing the different values here. Don't worry about any formula, right? 0, then I'm starting with 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 3 by 4 and 1. I'm just writing them. Now, this has got no connection to the values. I'm just writing some values here. Okay, now you take the square root of this row and write it here. You will get sine theta values. 0, what is the square root of 1 by 4? 1 by 2. Square root of 1 by 2 is 1 by root 2. Square root of this is root 3 by 2. Square root of 1 is 1. Now write the square root of this row in the reverse order. You will get cos theta. Do you understand? Or it is the reverse of the first row. Now to get tan theta, we know tan theta is sine by cos. So divide these two and write it here. 0 by anything is 0. This would be 1 by 1 root 3. 1 by 0, division by 0 not allowed. So we write infinity or 1. Okay. So what does this table tell you? Sine of 0 is 0. Sine of 30 degrees is half. Sine of 45 degrees is 1 by root 2. Sine of 60 degrees is root 3 by 2. Sine of 90 degrees is 1. Okay, even that you need not by heart. Some of them will say by heart the first row, then the other two rows will follow. Because second row is reverse of the first row and third row will be first row divided by the second row. Okay, I would suggest don't even by heart the first row, not even the values for sine theta. Simply write 0, 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 3 by 4, 1. Take the square root of that, you are able to get this particular formula. Is this idea clear, children? So this should help you to remember the values quickly. See, maths is only as good as you work it out. It's only as beautiful as you enjoy it. If you feel it's a burden, yes, it is a burden. Nobody can take the burden away from you. You have to enjoy it. Find what is the easiest way to do the problems. Then you can enjoy and work out the problems. Okay? Then we are usually encountering these two. What is this angle of elevation and depression? Okay, when I have a horizontal line, this is my horizontal line or my ground, and if you are looking at an object at P, this is called the line of sight. Okay, if the observer is looking at some object P, this line is called the line of sight. Then this angle here is called the angle of elevation. But suppose I have something like this. I have the horizontal line and I am looking at something down, right? If this is my line of sight, it is going below the horizontal. Okay, your horizontal is here and you are looking at something below the horizontal. Maybe you are standing on top of a building and looking at something below. Then this is called the angle of depression. This is called the angle of depression. So these terminology you have to be very, very clear. Only then you can work out the problems. Okay, now we are ready to work out some problems in heights and distances. Let us start with something simple and then slowly we will go to more complicated problems. Okay, if the height of a pole is 2 root 3 meters. Don't be worried about all the square roots here. I'll tell you how to tackle them very, very easily. You need not worry about lengthy calculations here. Okay, and the length of its shadow is 2 meters. Find the angle of elevation of sun. Okay, the shadow is cast because of the sun. So sun is somewhere on top. So we want to say what is the angle of elevation of sun. So what is my horizontal here? The ground, isn't it? My ground will be the angle of elevation. Okay, so this is my AC is the ground. Okay, let AC be the length of the shadow on the ground too. Of course, ground will stretch like this, isn't it? But I am cutting off its the length of shadow. Now the pole is of some height, so let me call it as AB. So this is the height of the pole. What is given to you? 2 root 3. Now we want to know what is the angle of elevation. So the sun is the one casting the shadow. So this angle is my angle in question, right? So I want to find theta. Now what is the data given to you? Opposite side is given, adjacent side is given. So given, so let AB be the pole, because diagram you should know what it is. I am describing here in the exam. Of course, you need not worry about all this. This is the shadow. Okay, angle of elevation is equal to theta, right? Now, what is your tan theta? Opposite by adjacent. Opposite side by adjacent side. What is your opposite to theta? Opposite to theta will be 2 root 3. Adjacent to theta will be 2. So, 2 root 3 divided by 2. Cancelling, you simply get root 3. So, what is your theta? When will tan theta be root 3? I gave you the table. If you just refer the table with you, see, it's better to have the table. How to generate the table is a very shortcut. But when problems are there, we cannot be generating the table for every problem. So have like a ready reckoner, you just keep it next to you. Yes, so the value 60 degrees will give me root 3. So the angle of elevation is 60 degrees, right? Hope you understood this particular problem. Right, the sun is at a height of 60 degrees above the ground level, right? So the why did I put tan theta here? Before I move to the next problem, let us analyze a few things here. Why did I put tan theta? The given data had adjacent and opposite side, therefore I used tan theta, isn't it? Depending on the data. So first, from the problem you should fix the diagram. See, in each type of problem, that is in each topic, certain things are important. In the previous lecture I taught you direct and indirect variation. There you have to fix the table, the quantities in question, and you have to put the arrow. If you can put the arrow correctly, you will solve the problem. Here you have to fix the diagram. If you give the tentative diagram correctly and put your theta there in the right place, then you are ready to solve the problem. You will never make mistakes. If the diagram goes wrong, then the entire problem will definitely go wrong without doubt. Okay, so learn how to interpret the question and get the diagram. Mostly the context will be pole and shadow, or plane is flying and you are looking at it, or a person is standing on a river and looking at a boat, or a kite flying a kite, okay, or a bird is flying. The context can be anything. As I tell in all my classes, don't worry about the context. Okay, just look at that and try to fix the diagram. Okay, where is the, it's a kind of like a stick. No, you just pole shadow means, okay, here we just put a rod. But even if you have a river, temple, tower, whatever it is, don't worry about the shape of the diagram. Draw the skeleton diagram, just the right angle triangle there. If your right angle triangle is there, you will be able to do the problem very well. Okay, let us do another problem. A ladder leaning against a wall makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. If the length of the ladder is 19 meter. Find the distance of foot of ladder from the wall. Okay, so what are the objects in question? What do you need for the right angle triangle here? Yes, let us learn how to draw the diagram here. A ladder leaning against a wall. So there is a wall here and there is a ground wall. The ladder is leaning on the ground, okay, on the wall, right? So call this as OA and B. So OA is the ground, AB is the ladder. OB of course is the wall. Okay, now the ladder makes an angle 60 degrees with the ground. Where is the ground? OA. So ladder is making 60 degrees here. Okay, we need not think about this angle. Now if the length of the ladder 19 meter, which means AB is equal to 19, find the distance of foot of ladder. So we want this. Okay, so now just look at the problem. Look at the diagram. You have the right angle triangle in place. You have theta equal to 60 degrees. You have the hypotenuse. You want the adjacent side. Immediately, which ratio will you use? Adjacent side means cosine theta. So cos theta is equal to cos 60 degrees is equal to, from the given data, I am not writing that here, cos 60 degrees is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. What's your adjacent side? OA is unknown, divided by 19. What is the value of cos 60 degrees? Yes, 1 by 2. Therefore, 1 by 2 is equal to OA by 19, or OA is equal to 19 by 2. What is 19 by 2? 9.5 meter. So, if you keep the ladder at a distance of 9.5 meter from the wall, then it will make 60 degree with the wall. Now, let me ask you another question. Suppose the angle was 30. What will happen? If the angle is smaller, the ladder will come down, isn't it? Yes, do you understand what is happening here? If I make this angle smaller, 30, then the ladder, this will come down, it will move down, which means it will be further away from the wall. So if it was 30, what will this happen here? Cos 30, I'm not working out, let us just discuss it. Cos 30 will be equal to, yes, root 3 by 2. So I will get root 3 by 2. So 19 into root 3 by 2. So 9.5 into root 3. Root 3 we know is 1.7 or roughly 2, rough estimate. So double the length you should do. But suppose the ladder was 45 degrees. What will happen? Theta is 45 degrees. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Okay, so you will get 19 divided by root 2. So each and every value, if the angle varies, as the angle becomes smaller and smaller, the ladder will go far away. If the angle is increasing, the ladder will be going closer to the wall. Isn't it? That is logical. You can even work it out in the problems and try to understand. You can put your own values here and try to understand how to work out the different values. Let us try another. Yeah. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower at a point on the ground is 30 degrees. On walking 24 meters towards the tower, the angle of elevation changes to 60 degrees. Find the height of the tower. See, this is what I told you in the previous problem, right? The angle of elevation is not some fixed value. It depends on from where you are looking at the tower. Okay, see, if you're walking towards the tower, you have to strain more, you have to look at a higher distance, you have to lift your eyes more to look at the tower, which means the angle of elevation will become more, it will increase, isn't it? But if you're going farther away, then away from the tower, then the angle of elevation will decrease. That is what I explained with the ladder also in the previous problem, right? So let us draw the diagram here. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower on the ground is 30. So you have a tower, you're standing somewhere, and then you're looking at a, let me draw a little far away also, and then you're looking at the top of the tower. Okay, so you have OA B. From this point you are looking at the tower, and from this point the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. Now you are walking 24 meter towards the tower. This AC will be 24 meter. The angle of elevation changes. So now you are looking at the tower. It is now 60 degrees. Do you understand this part? Right? Is this clear to all of you? Walking towards the tower. Now suppose I had told away from the tower, what will you do? You will go in the other direction. But now I am walking towards the tower. Right? So this is 60 degrees. Now you'll have to find what is the height of the tower. This is, we want this. Okay, now we don't have any one value. Just look at the triangle OCB. Okay, first let me write out all the initial things. OB is your tower. AC is given to be 24 meter. Okay, angle of elevation from point A and C, we've already marked it, so I'm not writing it, right? Okay, now you really do not know what is OA, because OAB is a right angle triangle. Do you realize that? This OAB is only a right angle triangle. Similarly, BOC is a right angle triangle, but ABC is not a right angle triangle. This angle will not be 90. See, the total angle is 180. 180 minus 60, 120 only will be here. Okay, not simply because I am drawing it like that. The actual value on a straight line, the angle will be 180. So the actual value will be 120. Okay, so there is no point in saying that this is a right angle triangle, right? So I can only work with right angle triangle. So this 30 degree can only work with OBA. 60 degree can work only with OBC. So you cannot bring ABC into the picture. But we neither know the value of OC or OA. We only know AC. Okay. So let us fix this. OC is equal to some X. Okay. Right. So let us fix the value of OC is equal to X. Right. Because we have to find OB, no, let OC is equal to X meter. Then from your right triangle, OBC, tan 60 degrees is opposite side by adjacent side. OB by OC, that is OB by X. What is tan 60 degrees? The value of tan 60 is root 3. So OB is equal to root 3 into X, because I need to find OB. Or I can say X equal to anything. Right? I will just leave it in this way. Now from triangle OBA, what is tan 30? Tan 30 will be OB by OA, but that is equal to OB by 24 plus X. See, I cannot find OB directly. If you want, you can find out, but I do not wish to do it. Now, what is OB from here? Because I will get, if I eliminate X, I can find out OB, but that will be slightly tougher. So I will go in this direction. What is OB here? OB will be equal to tan 30. Okay, tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So 1 by root 3. So 24 plus X divided by root 3. Okay, naturally from these two equations, so we have root 3x is equal to 24 plus x by root 3, or you have 3x is equal to 24 plus x, or 24 is equal to 3x minus x is equal to 2x. X is equal to 12. From using x, I can always say OB is equal to root 3x. So 12 into root 3. Okay, you can always find the value, that is 12 into 1.7, 1.7 or 1.73, if you can, if you want to know the value of root 3, so 20.76 meter. This will be the height of the tower. Okay, so this particular problem, you saw how there were two triangles and you had to work with them. You can try and find, see, I eliminated OB in both the equations and found the value of x, then OB. You can try and eliminate x in both the equations, but you have 24 plus x. So you should be really careful if you try that way. So this is the better way, foolproof method of doing it. Okay. Right. Now next problem. A man standing at the bank of a river observes that the angle subtended by a tree on the opposite bank is 60 degrees. Okay, when he moves or when he retires means moves backward, okay, or retreats 36 meter from the bank, he finds the angle to be 30 degrees. What is the breadth of the river? Okay, can you find the breadth of the river? That means how much he has moved, right? This is almost similar to the previous problem. You just have to be working with two triangles and you will be able to get the right answer. Okay, so just try to fix the diagram for this. He is standing at some place. Okay, let us fix the tree now. AB is the tree. Okay, you have AB is the tree. Let the height of the tree be some h. Okay, now he is observing at some point. Let that point be x, C. Okay, let this distance be some x meter. Now he is moving another 36 meter, right? So from here the tree appears to be smaller. When you go far away, it's going to appear smaller, right? So this is my angle 30 degrees and this is my angle 60 degrees, right? Okay. Now try to find out what is the value of your h, right? So AB is the tree, right? And AC is the river. Okay, so from triangle ACB, again you note that BCD is not a right angle triangle. You should either use ACB or you should use ABD. Okay, what is your tan theta? See, most of these problems will use tan theta. Okay, opposite side by adjacent side. So H by X. What is your theta? Theta is equal to 60 degree. Tan 60 is equal to root 3. So root 3x is equal to H. Okay, now use your second triangle, triangle ABD. Okay, again use tan theta is equal to h by x plus 36 because my side is longer, but now the angle is changed to 30. What is 30? 1 by root 3 is equal to h by x plus 36. Okay, now all that you have to do is use these two and try to solve and find out the solution. Okay, so what is your h from this and what is your, see what is h from the second equation, so that from the two equations I can eliminate. H can be written as x plus 36 by root 3, correct? Take it to the numerator. So x plus 36 by root 3 will be root 3x. X plus 36 by root 3 will be root 3 into x. Take the root 3 to the other side. X plus 36 equal to 3x. 36 is equal to 2x. X is equal to 18 meter. Right? Therefore, what is the breadth of the river? Breadth of river. We don't want height of the tree. If height of the tree is asked, then we will find what is h. Okay, h will be equal to x into root 3. That is 18 root 3. This is the height of tree. Even though this is not asked, I am just telling you the how to find both. Okay, so breadth of the river is equal to 18. Now see this problem. You are estimating how wide the river is just by looking at some object there. Okay, that is the main application of trigonometry. By looking at the object, and where are you measuring this angle 30 and 60? At your site, at your point. The observer is looking at an angle of 30 degrees. Observer is looking at 60 degrees. By measuring at your place, at your point, the point where you're standing, you are able to calculate the breadth of the river. You need not even know what is the height of the tree. All that I need is measurement from two different positions for the same tree. Then you can just eliminate the height of the tree. You have eliminated your h here and you're finding the breadth of the river. Okay, so this is a very interesting fact, how to estimate the distances, height and distance. By using angle, we are able to measure the heights, we are able to measure the distances. Okay, this ratio helps us to find something, estimate something even without using a measuring tape and going there, especially for very distant objects like star and so on. This is a very useful tool in astronomy to measure the angle between two stars. In fact, what is the diameter of sun? We find only the angular diameter very easily by looking at the two edges. Okay, so this is a very nice fact of trigonometry. Right, let me go to the next problem. A man on top of a tower standing on the seashore finds that a boat coming towards him takes 10 minutes for the angle of depression to change from 30 degrees to 60 degrees. Find the time taken by the boat to reach the shore from this position. Okay, see, this problem looks very complicated. You're standing somewhere on the lighthouse, on a tower, on the seashore, like a lighthouse. Okay, by looking at a boat, how much its angle of depression? You're looking at a boat means you are at the height, so you're looking down on the boat, so it's an angle of depression. Just by seeing the angle, your viewing angle is changing. If you can just see what is the change in that angle, you are able to estimate how fast he will come and reach you. Okay, that is the beauty here, right? So let us draw the tower. This is the tower, the horizontal sea, and then the man is watching. He is watching the boat from two different angles. Okay, see, now B, C is the tower, A and D. Now actually your angle of depression goes like this. Maybe I will draw this in a different color, then you will have a better idea. You are viewing from here. So you're looking at the boat at one angle here and another angle here. Okay, if this angle is 60, this is the angle of depression 60, this angle will also be 60. Sorry. 60 is here, this angle will also be 60. If this is 30, This will also be 30. Right? Do you get the point? Because when you have two parallel lines and one line going like this, okay, then this angle and this angle, these two are equal. These two are the same. Okay, shall I give some other color there for the tick mark so that you will know that these two angles are the same. This angle and this angle are the same. That's precisely what I marked in the diagram. Okay, are you able to understand the diagram now? Yes. Now, so what is your tower here? BC is the tower. Let me call the height of the tower as H. Let me call this CD, this distance AD as X. And from the tower to this as Y. Okay. Now, what is tan 60? From triangle BCD. Tan 60 is equal to H by Y. By now you are familiar. I need not write BC and CD. What is tan 60? Root 3 is equal to H by Y. Okay. Then what about your other triangle? Triangle, let me go to the next slide. Just write the tan alone here. From triangle BCA or ABC, tan 30 is equal to H by X plus Y. What is tan 30? 1 by root 3 is equal to H by X plus Y. Okay, so I have the two equations in place. So what are the two equations? Y is equal to H by root 3 and X plus Y is equal to root 3H. How to solve it? You can write X plus Y minus Y is equal to X. But what is X plus Y? Root 3H minus H by root 3 is equal to X. Correct? Therefore, what's your H? X is equal to, take the LCM here, root 3, 3H minus H is equal to 2H by root 3. Now, he is moving this difference, that change is your X. That distance he is moving in 10 minutes. That is 2H by root 3 meter is covered by the boat in 10 minutes. Okay, so how much distance he has to cover now? Y. What is Y? Y is H by root 3. We already have it. We need not find out. Okay. X only we had to find out using the value of Y. Right? So, therefore, Y distance, how much he will cover? That is the distance from the new distance to the shore, his current position to the shore. How far he will take to reach, how long he will take to reach the shore from this position. That means the existing position. So, H by root 3 meter will be covered in H by root 3 into 10 divided by 2H by root 3. So, into root 3 by 2H, which is equal to 5. 10 by 2, 5. So, another 5 minutes, the person will reach the shore. Okay, see how beautifully, just by looking at uh, observing that boat for a few minutes, calculating how the angle is changing, we are able to estimate when he will reach us. Okay, so this is a very beautiful application. Naval applications are there. How the problem has to be solved? It is only using your tan theta. You see, most of the problems will use only this tan theta. Okay, now next problem will be a slightly different problem. That's why I chosen this. There are two temples, one on each bank of a river. Just opposite to each other. One temple is 54 meters high. From the top of this temple, the angles of depression of the top and foot of the other temple are 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. Find the width of the river and the height of the other temple. See, now the question itself is so long. It is almost one slide, okay, but the diagram is going to be very simple. If you can just pull out the relevant data, fixing the triangles will be very simple. So I'll just draw a small diagram here. There are two temples on two sides of a river. So you have a river, right? One temple is 54-meter high. Then there is another temple, right? So let me call that tall temple as some AB. Okay. From here, the other end of the river, you are looking at two top and bottom. So there is another temple here. Okay. This is my CD. Now you are looking at this part. You are looking at from B. You are looking at the base of the temple. From B, you are looking at the top of the temple. Okay, this angle is 60, correct, and this angle is 30. The angle of depression, of course, when I say angle of depression, this is 60, this angle is 60, and this angle is 30, correct. 60 is the larger one. Do you understand? 60 is the larger angle, 30 is the smaller angle. So the top will have 30. Base will have 60. In fact, the question is very clear. From the angles of depression of the top and foot of the other temple are 30 and 60 respectively. So top is 30, foot is 60 is understood by using that word respectively. Even if you have confusion by looking at the angle of depression, you will be able to fix it. Now what do they want? The width of the river. What is width of the river? AC. They also want the height of the temple. So let me call the height of the temple as some value h. Okay, so I want to find what is h. I also want to find what is the width of the river. Okay, some x, right? So AC is the river, AC equal to x. DC is the temple, I am calling it as h. Okay, now you try to write what is tan 30 and what is tan 60. Tan 60 is root 3, which is AB by AC, correct? Now, so AC will be equal to AB by root 3, which is 54 divided by root 3. AB is already given to be root 3, which I can write it as 54, okay, by root 3 into root 3 by root 3. I don't want root 3 in the denominator. So this is 54 by 3 or 18 root 3 meter. This is easier to evaluate. Okay, now from the diagram we know DE is equal to AC, correct? The two lines are parallel, so that is also 18 root 3 meter. Now what is BE by DE? That's your tan 30. What's the value of tan 30? 1 by root 3. Therefore your BE will be equal to DE by root 3. That is 18 meter. Correct? Therefore, what's your CD? CD will be AE. Correct? But AE will be AB minus BE. What is AB minus BE? 54 minus 18. We found out BE just now, which is 36 meter. Therefore, what is the width of the river? Width of the river is equal to AC. AC is equal to 18 root 3 meter, which is actually 18 into 1.73, which is 31.14 meter. What is the height of the other temple? Height of other temple, we called it as H, isn't it? That is your CD. What's your CD? CD will be 18 meter because CD is the same as AE. Okay, so I have both the height of the temple and the width of the river. So whichever you want is ready for you, you can find the value. Okay, so you should be able to understand how you are able to use two triangles and find it. Okay, in the previous two problems the triangles were on the same base. Now the two triangles here are on different bases. The bases are separated by a height h, but we know the horizontal is the same, isn't it? So the bases are the same. We should be able to work on it. Right, one more problem I should be able to do. Let me try and see if I can do two more problems also for you. Let's see depending on the problem. Okay, right. Let us work out this problem. The top of a 15-meter tower makes an angle of elevation of 60 degrees with the bottom of an electric pole and angle of elevation of 30 degrees with the top of the pole. What is the height of the pole? You are standing somewhere on top of the tower. You are looking at another object, but you want to estimate the height of the pole. How do I estimate this? Okay, so you have a tower AB, then you are looking at some other pole somewhere. Okay, AB, it's 15 meter. There is a pole. Now angle of depression. You are looking at angle of depression. The angle of elevation of 60 degrees. Okay, from the base of the pole and base of the pole to the tower. Okay, so I think we will erase this line. We are not using this right now. From the base, the angle of elevation of 60 degree with the bottom of an electric pole. Okay, so base of the pole makes an angle of elevation 60. So this angle is 60 degrees. The top makes an angle 30 degrees. This angle is 30. Okay, so let me call this as some C D E. Okay, so let this be some H. So this will also be H. AE will also be H. Then this will be 15 minus H. Given AB is equal to 15 meter. Let CD equal to H. That's equal to AE. Therefore, BE is equal to 15 minus H. Now write out your tan theta. What is your tan 60? Tan 60 is equal to AB by AC, which is equal to tan 60 is root 3. So I can say AC is equal to AB by root 3, which is equal to 15 divided by root 3. Right? And what is your tan 30? Tan 30 is equal to DE by DE, which is equal to 1 by root 3. Therefore, I have DE is equal to DE into root 3, which is root 3 into 15 minus H, because we calculated. Now, AC equal to DE, correct? Which will imply 15 by root 3 is equal to root 3 into 15 minus H. Find out H from this. H will be equal to 10 meter. Okay, so I am able to find the height of the pole. Okay, H, whether it is AE or CD, whichever side it is the same. See, that is the beauty of the skeleton diagram. Once you draw the skeleton diagram, you need not worry about the context. You need not go into whether it is tower or whether it is pole. You are just interested in A, B, B, C, AC and so on. Okay, so learn to draw the skeleton diagram well. If you are thorough with that, you will be able to do such problems very easily. Okay, now one final problem. Yeah, now this is a very interesting problem actually, but let's see. Two ships are sailing in the sea. On the two sides of a lighthouse. Okay, two different sides. The angles of elevation of the top of the lighthouse as observed from the two ships are 30 degrees and 45 degrees respectively. So usually there is no confusion. Okay, if the lighthouse is 100 meters high, find the distance between the two ships. Okay, what is the distance between the two ships? Right, so now because it's on both sides, we need not worry, we will still get a right angle triangle. Okay, so it is something like this. AB is the lighthouse, there is a sea, there is a ship here, and there is a ship here. As simple as that. So now you still have a right angle triangle here, C and D. This is some 100 meter, this is 30 degrees, this is 45 degrees. Done. So now you are ready to do the problem. Okay, AB is a lighthouse and C, D are the ships. Okay, so now what should you do? Tan 30. What's your tan 30? AB by AC. This will imply AC is equal to AB into root 3 because tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So that will be 100 root 3 meters. Similarly, AB by AD will be your tan 45, which is equal to 1. Therefore, AD is equal to AB is equal to 100 meter. We already know the height of the lighthouse. Okay. Therefore, what's your CD? CD will be AC plus AD. What is that equal to? 100 root 3 plus 100, which is 100 into 1 plus root 3, which is 100 into 1 plus 1.73, which is 100 into 2.73 or 732. This is equal to 273 meter. Okay, so you are able to actually calculate what is the distance between two ships also. Not only how fast the ship will reach you, but we are able to find what is the distance between two ships also. Okay, see, I did this problem mainly because of the difference. You are having right angle triangle on two different sides. So what is the problem? As long as I have a right angle triangle, I can apply my tan theta formula. Okay, so with this training, I'm sure you will be able to tackle problems on heights and distances. All the very best to you children. Thank you.